To share with you a couple of newer projects here at the Southeast Research Farm. The first, right behind me, is a vegetative treatment area that we just got put in a year ago. And what we've got here is we've got a containment area and a collection pond for the feedlot runoff. And then we've got 13-acre area here of that's kept in permanent vegetation, and it's intensively grazed. And then the runoff from our feedlot is applied via large gun sprinklers out here. And we've got 20-some risers out here, and we'll move the guns around throughout the year as we need to disperse the water and the nutrients. This was hayed a couple weeks ago. The other side we've got, that's in grass, and just got cut last week. That'll get baled up this week. So we get some, we can kind of move the guns around as we need to and try to get the nutrients evenly dispersed. The project was, we had assistance from the NRCS. They supplied an engineer for technical support in designing the system. They also provided cost share dollars that allowed us to put it in. If you noticed on the way out, you passed an orange tile inlet. That was actually a clean water inlet, and it runs along the roadside and empties out here, so that all of the yard runoff is excluded from the feedlot runoff. So the feedlot and the feed storage area and feed mixing area, and we've got a composting, mortality composting facility. Those are all contained within the watershed area of the feedlot, and all of that runoff goes out here and is applied to this field where the plants can utilize the nutrients, and it just doesn't go running through waterways and find its way to lakes and rivers. The second new item that we've got going on here at the Southeast Farm has just been going for a couple of weeks, and that's a grazing study that we've started this year. You see a set of yearling heifers back here. They just came in June 26, and we've been working to fence off a good portion of this quarter of farmland. We'll probably end up with about 60 acres fenced off. And we've got, I guess, a twofold purpose in doing this study. One is to, I guess, from a livestock perspective, I think you all know pasture is kind of been disappearing, gets plowed up, and when you can find it, the rent is awfully expensive. So what are some options as opposed to permanent grass as far as running cows or stockers? Can we take marginal farm ground, ground that's prone to be too wet or drouthy, and can we run livestock on it? And can we, in doing that and by diversifying our crop rotation, can we improve the ground? So we got heifers out there. They're replacement heifers weighing about 950, and there's a bull running out there. They're currently on an oat pea mix and are grazing that. And we've got the oats are underseeded with annual ryegrass and clover, and we're hoping that comes on strong this fall for grazing. And as they work through the oats, we're going to be planting a sorghum Sudan hybrid out there for the summer months. So we hope to graze that once or twice this summer. And then we'll also move around. We've got wheat further north, and that is underseeded with red clover. And then this fall we'll be utilizing corn residue, and in the future, as we start to diversify the rotation, we'll be looking at cover crops, crop residues, annual forages. We'll probably be follow soybeans with winter rye to use for fall grazing or early spring grazing, and we'll just what we'd like to do is see how much of the year, how much grazing can we get, try to get away from harvested forage, which is expensive, and try to let the cattle do the harvesting for us. The second component of this project is the agronomic aspect. What's going to happen to the ground? Can you take tillable farm ground and use it for grazing, and can you make that pay? on marginal ground. Can we improve that? Can we improve the health of the soil, the tilth of the soil? So in each of these areas, and like I said, this just got started. As this corridor will probably get broken up a little more defined as far as field areas. But like out here in the oat field, we've got a couple of strips that we've fenced off. We hate it, and the cattle are not going to be grazing that. Well, we're taking a measure of tonnage off of that when that gets baled up. But the cattle will be excluded, and then we've got 30-foot reference strips through the field. Next year when that gets planted to corn, we can do some yield checks in the grazed area versus the ungrazed area. We can look at soil fertility in those strips, and we can look at any compaction issues. So try to find the positives and the negatives. Like I said, they came in at June 26th. The first block that they were in, we had them out there for 6 days, 21 head. It was 1.25 acres in size. So if you kind of put the numbers all together, 1 acre supported 100 head for a day is kind of the equivalent. So if you figure $2 a head a day, you've got $200 return there on that acre. And then if we've got subsequent grazing opportunities on it, we will add to that. So those are some of the things that we're going to be looking at with the grazing study. It's kind of a interdiscipline thing, so we can get some animal science and some agronomy information from it, and maybe it opens the door for people that might have maybe you don't have livestock but you got neighbors that run cows. Well, if you rent off corn stubble to graze, is it going to hurt you or not? Or maybe you've got prevented planting acres and it's too late for corn or soybeans. Can you come in with a sorghum Sudan hybrid and rent that out and graze it, and hopefully we can answer some of those questions here in the coming years. Any questions?